Good morning and welcome to day 19 of the Serving Challenge here at Ascension Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Scott coming to you on this Wednesday morning. Today is day 19 and it's actually the final day of our availability aspect of what it means to serve like Jesus. Tomorrow we will move into the third aspect, that is action. But today we talk about availability, and Pastor Zach in his reflection for today talks about that one big opportunity and kind of the times where we maybe miss a chance to do something big or monumental. And then he somehow makes the move to the reality that we'll always have the poor with us, and then talks about living open-handed. And really trying to, in my mind, tying even a little more to yesterday and that one big thing. I think of that, living open-handedly, acknowledging that we have all that we need to provide for all the people in the world. There need not be poverty. There need not be hunger. There are enough resources available in the world. What we have is a distribution problem. But again, that can be overwhelming to think about, and I believe that to be true. I haven't done the math. I can't do the math. I'm not that smart. But how do we affect that? How do we impact that? And what it occurs to me as we continue to reflect upon yesterday and doing that one for one, right? That one thing for one person, we can affect that the distribution of resources by participating in projects and organizations that do things. I mean, here I'm standing by our blessing bags. Something simple we do here at the church and assemble these bags with a few care items that somebody who doesn't have adequate housing or living on the street or doesn't have enough resources can get some socks and some food to eat. And, it isn't going to totally... we're not trying to take this food over to a third world country where clearly there's poverty. We're not sending water to places where there's water insecurity, but we're trying to meet the needs of those in our community. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be thinking about what we could do and how we can be a part of a solution worldwide. But I think what we need to remember is that each of us are a part of this creation, and the reality is we can each impact a change. I think of the time during COVID where by each of us not driving, I mean, if I didn't drive, it doesn't make that big of an impact in the environment. But then once none of us were driving, how quickly we could impact the air quality around the world. What would it look like for us to think about food resources or financial resources in a similar way? There's a pastor who started an organization probably 10 or a dozen years ago called 1 Day's Wages, and encouraged people to donate 1 day's wages to other parts of the world, to places where they didn't have enough resources, and acknowledging that something that may seem as insignificant as 1 day's wages could make such a difference in somebody else's lives. How do we make ourselves available to these opportunities that continue to present themselves? How do we choose? It certainly is a challenge, I think, for all of us. But I can tell you that if you want to know what somebody thinks is important, you can see what it is they spend their time doing, what they spend their fiscal resources on. And if we're going to make it a priority serving other people, then our calendar and our bank account should probably reflect that as well. Challenging words. We'll blame it on Pastor Zach. Don't blame it on me. But they are challenging words of Jesus, and certainly the example that he gave us as he lived his life among us. My friends, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. For day 20 of this Serving Challenge. We'll be at the halfway point, and if you made it this far, kudos to you, and we're halfway home, so to speak. I'll see you tomorrow.